What if I told you there's a way to get rid of your wrinkles, shrink your nose, reduce UE, and much more? And it only costs a couple $100. Well, that's Botox for you. Masseter Botox. Contrary to popular belief, big masseter muscles in most cases won't improve your look and instead make you look like a bloated chipmunk. How to know if you would benefit from having this type of Botox? If you have TMJ, it improves this by weakening the muscles which relieve tension/stress on the jaw. If you always are bloated but are still lean, it will make you lean as it shrinks the masseter muscles so you're left with just bone. Too wide jaw, Botox will slim it down and give it a more aesthetic look. Asymmetries. You can fix jaw asymmetry by using more Botox on the larger side and less on the other. How to know if you would not benefit from having this type of Botox? Narrow jaw. Relatively self-explanatory. If you already have a narrow jaw, it will just insinuate it further by reducing masseter. Where to / how to inject. You should inject the Botox in the safe zone. About 10 to 15 units each side depending on your goals. Also remember to inject 1 to 2 units less in the slightly larger side if you have asymmetries. Botox in the nose. An alternative to getting a rhino if you don't have a really bad nose is using Botox. I'd also combine it with a liquid rhino, but that's for another video. It can improve a great variety of aspects of the nose, but it will be to a less significant degree than getting a rhinoplasty. How to know if you would benefit from having this type of Botox? Bulbous tip. You can fix this by disabling the dilator nares. Droopy nose. You can fix this by disabling the dilator nares. Flared nostrils. You can fix this by disabling the alar nasals. Fix asymmetries. You can fix nose asymmetry by using more Botox on the larger side/part, usually in nostril flare, and less on the other. How to know if you would not benefit from having this type of Botox? Again, I want to repeat this: if you have a bad nose, Botox won't solve your problem. This is mainly for people who have an average nose and want to make it mager. If you already have a good nose, you won't benefit from it, as there's not much point in doing it. Where to / how to inject. To make the nose slimmer, by injecting in the dilator nares. To reduce nostril flare, by injecting in the alar nasals. To make your nose upturned when you smile, by injecting in the depressor septi. Inject between 1 to 2 units of Botox in the areas you want for your desired result. Lips/philtrum. Botox can affect the lips/philtrum through a lip flip. This is when relax the muscles above the upper lip, causing the lip to subtly turn outward and appear fuller without adding actual volume. This creates a more defined upper lip and can also reduce a gummy smile. How to know if you would benefit from having this type of Botox? If you have a thin upper lip, it does this by strategically injecting Botox into the orbicularis oris muscle, which relaxes it, allowing the lip to gently roll outward and upward. In addition, it will reduce the appearance of the philtrum. If you have a gummy smile, as it will enable the lips to rest where your gums used to be. How to know if you would not benefit from having this type of Botox? Full upper lip, as it will just mess up your lower lip to upper lip ratio and make your lips look uncanny. Where to / how to inject. Inject in the areas shown above. Go for about 4 to 6 units of Botox depending on the severity. Eyebrows. A reverse brow lift is a very effective use of Botox, especially for ascending the eye area. How to know if you would benefit from having this type of Botox? If you have any UE. If you have high-set brows, as it will make them more low-set. If you have large/round eyes, as it will make them more narrow. How to know if you would not benefit from having this type of Botox? If you have extremely narrow eyes, as it will make them even more narrow. But for 99% of people, they should at least try this. Where to / how to inject. Inject 20 to 40 units of Botox in the frontalis muscle depending on your desired outcome. Wrinkles. This is what Botox is most famous for, and for a good reason. It's scientifically proven to reduce wrinkles. How to know if you would benefit from having this type of Botox? Everyone should do it due to its effects on wrinkles. However, don't overfill, as it will look uncanny. Where to / how to inject. Inject in points A to D and about 10 to 25. Between points AC and 5 to 15 for point D. Microtox. It decreases sebum and oil production. How to know if you would benefit from having this type of Botox. You have overly oily skin. How to know if you would not benefit from having this type of Botox. If you have dry skin, where to / how to inject. It involves injecting a diluted solution of Botox into the superficial layers of the skin, which then inhibits the neurotransmitter acetylcholine, which impacts oil production, significantly reducing it in the areas of injection. Conclusion. Botox isn't a replacement for real plastic surgery but can be used in less severe cases. Botox is more for a cheap and subtle enhancement for non-severe cases that can greatly ascend you if done right.